What is going on, YouTube? How you guys doing tonight? It's your boy Tyrone. I'm here with two special guests. I got K Styles and Andrew Jones. Andrew's from the Tar Heel Illustrated, covers North Carolina, and then K Styles, of course, AFN legend. 6-man K Styles channel on YouTube. We at 400 yet, K Styles? Are we at 400?
I'm at 443 right now.
Oh, okay. We almost at 500. You know, he had to throw it out there.
You threw it out there, man. I was trying to say that.
But yeah, we got K Styles on tonight. How you guys doing tonight?
Doing fantastic. You guys are gonna get way past 500 with that hat he's wearing.
Hey man, this hat is lovely. I'm telling y'all, man, y'all better get on it, man. I'm telling you. This is a fall and winter hat.
I'm gonna have to rethink my fashion decisions after seeing that.
Gee, you talking about fatness? Boy, please. I got fatness everywhere. That's why.
Fashion. I said fashion.
Oh, fashion. Yeah,
fashion.
Fat boy fashion. That's what I'm good at.
Fat boy fashion.
Instead of wearing this, I can wear that.
Hey. They probably got an Oreos.
They probably do. They probably
There'll be more people watching this than are probably at their game at Camden Yards tonight.
Oh Jesus. Yeah.
Wow. I'm good at making fun of my team. That's all I got, man. That's all I got.
Hey. Same way here when people try to make 28-3 jokes. It's the same thing.
It's the same thing all day, every day.
We just go with it. It's just not even funny anymore. It's just, hey, congrats. But we're gonna get into Georgia Tech versus North Carolina this year. We're gonna be playing in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, which is I don't understand it, but getting into K Styles last week, Georgia Tech heartbreaking 1 yard line touchdown winning game. You run a triple option when you haven't run triple option in 2-3 years, and you ran the dive and it doesn't work. When you should have won the game, which really and truly you held Clemson to 14 points. You made it look like they were playing Georgia again. How did that feel?
That's just one of those cases where, we suffered on third down that whole game. I think it was like 3 for 17 on third down. You're not winning games like that too often. You're not winning games like that. But like I said, they put the fight up. They put the fight up. Like I said, the defense is very aggressive. They physical. They wasn't scared. Like I said, we just didn't make the plays that we need to make in order to win the game. It's about as simple as I can put it on that.
You guys were 3 of 15 from third down.
Yeah, that's close enough. That's still all bad.
Hey. Well, you guys have your quarterback now in Jordan Yates. Remember we talked about Sims earlier in the year, and we thought Sims was going to be the guy, but Yates ended up taking the spot. Is Yates is the better passer. I think we can tell in that. You think he's probably gonna start for the rest of the year, you think? I don't think Sims can start. Okay.
Yeah. I wouldn't say Yates is the better passer. I mean, Sims is still up there, but you gotta think about the confidence level. Because you could see the body language as far as being in the huddle and how the command of the offense. That's where the difference between the two is. Because since Jordan Yates has already been here, he already got the experience.
Yeah.
And I think for what this offense need, they need somebody that's an experienced leader who's been here that can get the guys together to do what they got to do.
Okay. For you, Andrew, of course, you guys, Sam Howell, who was one of the Heisman favorites, probably still is back in that race. And you guys, we beat Virginia 59-39, which I thought Virginia was going to come back. I remember that then, you guys go out and score a whole bunch of more touchdowns. How does it, for this season, you lose Virginia Tech in the start, which was a crazy game I didn't think was going to happen. I thought you guys were going to come out, dominate, lose Virginia Tech. Then the next 2 weeks, you dominate your opponent. My thing is the O-line gotten better in those 2 weeks? Did they shuffle anything around? And do you think Sam Howell is comfortable right now?
Yeah, I think Sam's comfortable. And the offensive line, what's interesting is they had 5 starters back from last year, but they were missing their center for Virginia Tech. And they said that affected communication. So they struggled. They're in a loud Lane Stadium is really loud, and it was wild that night. And it's the first time any of those kids have played in a full stadium in almost 2 years. So they said it affected communication. And then against Georgia State, they actually struggled with the conventional ground game, but they were missing their left tackle. But I think a team that's experienced as they are up front against Georgia State, that shouldn't be an issue when you're a good ACC team. But it was. I think they kind of masked some of the things that didn't go well with some Sam's running the ball with some big pass plays. But this past weekend, they were a lot better, and 3 of the regular starters didn't even start. They played, but they didn't play a lot, and they didn't start. So I think whatever issues they were having up front, it appears they may have fixed them. But after watching what Georgia Tech did to Clemson and how physical they were, this might actually be more of a test for the offensive line this week, because the Ramblers, they're going to grind. And Virginia, they are a grinding team too in some ways, but Carolina was fully ready. One of the Virginia players was talking a lot of smack during the week. I think that got Carolina's attention, and the Tar Heels hit on big plays, a lot of big plays. They had 699 yards or something like that, 6th most ever in school history against a pretty good team. So we're going to learn a lot more about where the offense is this week. I think this is a more significant test in some ways, especially if the dome is half empty and you have to generate your own energy, which happens sometimes in games like that. So if the offensive line is really good, this team's going to score against anybody, because Sam is unbelievably good. He's got a great receiver in Josh Downs, and I think they have a good enough ground game to kind of balance out the passing game that they'll be good enough. But they got to get it done up front.
I wouldn't expect a full dome. I mean, Georgia Tech is not even selling out Georgia Tech. They're not even selling out Bobby Dodd. I can see North Carolina coming down because it's not that far of a ride, but knowing ticket prices and stuff like that, I wouldn't be surprised if I don't think it'll be a full stadium. What's up, Knight? How you doing tonight? I think this is a game where you're gonna have to build, like you said, you're gonna have to build your own energy. It's going to be a momentum game, really and truly. If Georgia Tech defense come out like they did last week versus Clemson, I mean, that's going to be a game where it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard on both sides. I think for Georgia Tech's defense, they need to, they gotta put out basically what Virginia Tech did. Virginia Tech sent a lot of blitzes. If you go back and watch that Virginia Tech game, they sent a lot of blitzes at Sam, and it was a lot of different looks. I mean, they played a lot of different zones. I watched that game in completion because I was just so surprised. I'm thinking Sam Howell's going to break out, and it just looked like he was confused. And I was like, I can't understand how. But now you can tell he's getting more in rhythm. He's getting a lot more in shape. Now, like you said, that stadium was crazy. The atmosphere and the crowd was just ridiculous. So
the pass protection was awful that night. I mean,
it was horrible. Yeah,
he didn't have much time to ever go through his progression. And on the last play, offensive play, when he threw the interception and basically ended the game, he had a guy pulled him to the earth. So it would have been, they had 6 sacks. That would have been 7th. That was a really poor pass blocking performance, not just by the line, but the running backs didn't do a good job. And I think Sam, I'm not going to say he was rattled, because I don't know if Sam can get rattled at this level, but that's as close to being rattled as I've seen him during his now 28 games at North Carolina. And he still had him in position. They were moving the ball. And I thought they were going to score and tie the game and go into overtime. I thought they were going to steal the game they had no business winning, didn't deserve to win. But they're not ready there. They're not at that point yet where they do that stuff like that. They're still in the process of going through those phases where they become that team. And that's why this week's really important. They're 5-6 on the road under Mac Brown in his second stint. They lost last year to Florida State. They lost to UVA. They lost to Wake a couple years ago when they were 2-0. So this is a really big game for them to challenge whether they've taken that next step or not, because Tech's good enough. If you're not ready, they can beat you. And then, like you said about the dome, if it's half empty, you got to generate your own energy on the road. And Tech will have energy. They'll have an opportunity to beat a team that could really change the course of their season. For Carolina, I'm not sure they'll view it that way. I think that they look at the challenges. We've got to prove we can win on the road. We've got to go on the road, take care of business. And if there's 35,000 empty seats in that place, that's going to be a little harder for 20 and 21-year-old kids to do.
Yeah, we're going in for you guys. I mean, your biggest competition coming up is a couple weeks, and you get Notre Dame. So this is a momentum game going for you guys, even though because this is going to be one of your harder games. I think what we saw from Georgia Tech was a surprise versus Clemson, in a lot of people's eyes. But seeing what we saw, you guys, I mean, you're going to play Duke, you're going to play Florida State, and then you're going to play Miami.
Yeah.
Those 3 games should be, I'm not going to say they should be, but really they should be blowouts because Miami hasn't looked good this year. Florida State played one good game, then they lost to Jacksonville State. And then you get Duke, who's Duke. Like, Duke's a basketball school. So for you guys, I feel like this game is the toughest grind. This is a grinder game for you. But getting into, we're grinding. Get into this running game. K-Styles, 2 of the best running backs in the country. The O-line. You guys got to run the ball.
Jahmyr Gibbs, J.P. Mason. That's the engine of this offense. They build it off that running game. And hey, I'm about to say I'm proud because we actually have a running game without a triple option for once. so we good on that. But you still, even with that running game, they will have to build off that, and you still gonna have to get some yardage through the air. Like that's pretty much all. Like I said, McGowan has to show up. Malachi Carter, he has to, like I said, they gotta have these good games too. Because like you said, you got that Heisman hopeful up there, Sam Howell in North Carolina. So even with the Virginia Tech game that they lost, like you said, this is college football. Anything happens Sunday. That could have been a fluke game. So we can't look at that. Even with the Clemson game, that anybody can look at it. Like I said, we were a 28-point underdog in that game, and we lost by 6.
Yeah.
So anything can happen. But this is what we're talking about, that they have to make the plays when the opportunity is there, because if they don't, it's the same old story.
You got to score. Like, you can't go 3 of 15 on 3rd down again. Right? Like, if you guys didn't go 3 of 15, I'll put it like that. If you guys didn't go 3 of 15 that game, you probably win that game by a good amount. Because Clemson doesn't have an offense. And for you, Andrew, you guys, you're in a different division than Clemson. You don't play Clemson this year. But you get if you guys win, you win your division. Is it the Coastal and I forgot how you guys.
Coastal.
Yeah. So if you guys win the Coastal, then you're probably going to play Clemson in the championship game, because I don't think Clemson loses to anybody else on their schedule.
They could lose this weekend. They're at NC State this weekend. That's
they are. Oh, they're at
that could happen. So. I mean, they got to be a lot better than they were against Georgia Tech to win that game, I think.
They have to. I mean, that's not even a question. They have to.
State's not bad. State's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, if you're looking at the rest of their schedule, they get only thing I wish they would say BC, but BC lost their quarterback.
Yeah.
And then they get Florida State. They would have got Florida State at home. Away would have been different, or Louisville. They play Louisville away, so that'd be a game I can see, being a little bit of a challenge. But I mean, for you guys probably win the Coastal. I'm your pick. You're my favorite for the Coastal win. How do you feel about? I mean, this game, you guys' running backs are not bad either. So, running game wise, how do you guys see this week? How do you think
they ran real well last week? But I'll tell you what's actually helped their running is Sam Howell. The last 2 weeks, he's run for 100 or more yards in each of the 2 games. In fact, the last 2 games against Georgia State and Virginia, he became only the 2nd player in FBS to throw for 300 and run for 100 in consecutive games since 2004, and the only guy to do it other than him since then was Lamar Jackson, the year he won the Heisman at Louisville. So, and Sam looks good. I mean, when he was running the ball against Virginia Tech, we thought, man, they're putting him out there to get hit a lot. And then against Georgia State, the same thing early, but that's actually by design. That's what they want to do. He's improved his agility. He's improved his flexibility. He looks quicker. He looks faster than he has in the past. And look, Mac Brown's 2 best teams at Texas, you had Vince Young and you had Colt McCoy, and they were doing a lot of the same stuff too. So they're like, look, our inside run game may not be as good as it was last year with Michael Carter and Javonte Williams, but if we got a quarterback stressing the defense, that can help out the inside run game. They think that that's what happened some last week. So expect to see Sam Howell run, and he'll probably be their leading rusher or secondly. They would probably prefer him be their second leading rusher. And Ty Chandler, a kid that came over from Tennessee, you're an SEC guy, I'm sure you remember him at Tennessee. They would prefer that he be their leading rusher, but Sam's going to run the ball Saturday night. He's going to put himself out there and get hit. He doesn't like to slide, so there's opportunities for the Georgia Tech defense to take a few pops there, and I think that worries some Carolina fans. But I think when you talk Carolina's run game, you have to talk Sam Howell, Ty Chandler, and anything they get from anybody else is probably gravy.
Yeah, because Ty Chandler last week had 20 carries for almost 200 yards, so he averaged almost 10 yards a carry.
Yeah,
and that's not a. I mean, that's a stretch. I mean, you play a game like that, and he's getting 10 yards a carry. I mean, that's 10 first. That's almost 20 first downs. Like that's a crazy amount of run speed. And then you, of course, like you said, Sam's running. He ran 112 versus UVA, and then he ran another. He ran versus Georgia Tech 130. So I mean Georgia State 104. So
104.
Yeah. So he's gonna run the ball. He's gonna run it. He's not gonna not run it. So for you guys, it's gonna be scary to see him get popped because I know Georgia Tech's gonna send some heads at him. Like I mean, you're gonna have a spy. You're gonna have a spy set up now because we've seen him run 2 games in a row, and you're gonna hope your spy literally can stay with him. But yeah, you guys, this is gonna be a fun game in my eyes. I think it's gonna be a lot of competition. Anything you guys else want to touch on about your teams before we get into predictions?
Well, I want to ask K Styles a question. How many times do you think Charlie Thomas meets Sam Howell Saturday night? He could play.
Yeah,
he's good.
Yeah. It's gonna be some clashes there. It's gonna be quite a few clashes. Like I said, just hopefully Thomas can win those clashes. But like what Tyrone said, and like we both been saying, our running games are going to have to be vital. So that means our defenses are going to have to tackle.
Yeah.
And like I said, that's the one thing about the Georgia Tech defense is they're aggressive and physical, but sometimes that mentality, they miss tackles as well. So it's going to
play when you want to throw your head at somebody and you don't wrap up.
Yeah, because Tariq Carpenter and Wanye Thomas is kind of like that too. Those some big safeties, but sometimes they like to throw their bodies around and they miss tackles. So this kind of game right here, you cannot be missing tackles.
Yeah, if you miss tackles against Carolina, some of the skill guys they have, that's trouble, especially Josh Downs. You got to wrap him up.
Exactly.
He's so explosive.
Exactly. We need to keep this game close. We don't need to get blown out.
If my thing for Georgia Tech, if you had a close game versus North Carolina and Clemson, you gotta feel like we're getting somewhere. Do you feel that way? Like if you get 2 close games back to back, you might not win them, but you play them real close. You gotta feel like you're getting somewhere with Collins. You feel that way?
I mean, yeah. If you like I said, if you think about the last couple of years of playing, like last few times playing North Carolina and Clemson, we done got blown out. So it's like I say, it's a feel good, but you also have to look at it now. It's like as long as they be able to carry it to the rest of the season, because the end of the season is where we really gonna have some tests at the end of the season where we got Notre Dame and Georgia. So that like I said, which I still think we're gonna beat Georgia by 3. I'm still sticking on that.
I love that you keep saying that. But I mean, mind you, that's going to be a bad week. I mean, if you lose to Notre Dame and then the next week you got to play Georgia, and it's literally no break, no bye week, just straight Notre from Indy. You're in Indy playing Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
God, I mean,
it's gonna be like I say, it's gonna be tough. But yeah, like to answer your question, yeah, it's gonna feel good because these are two teams that normally been spanking us for the last few years.
Do you guys make a bowl game, K Styles? Do you think you get a bowl game this year? Only 6 wins, and you got
it's only 6 wins. We got one. We got 1 out of 3. So it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be. It's really going to be tough. I can't even give you a guarantee on that. To be honest with you.
I mean, after UNC, you get Pitt, Duke, Virginia Tech, Miami, and Boston. You can win.
We can win, but remember what he just said is any given Sunday we could think we can win this thing, but we can get beat down like a mud.
You go to Miami and you go to Miami, and so you just never know. I mean, some of these games are on the road. You get Virginia on the road. You get Virginia Tech at home. I feel like if you guys win a little bit, you get a crowd. I think that's the only reason Bobby Dodd is not selling out is because you guys just haven't been winning. But for you, Andrew, I don't feel like I don't have to ask if you guys are gonna make a bowl game because I feel like you're gonna say yes. But
yeah, they will.
You guys make the ACC championship.
I think they look more like a team that can now than they did before the Virginia game. I think there were a lot of people. There were a lot of unhappy Carolina fans, which is interesting because the level of anger after a Carolina football loss I haven't seen very often in my years covering them. I see it after a basketball loss all the time, and I thought it was really interesting. Almost an interesting case study in the fan base after Virginia Tech that people were just pissed off, and they felt like they were let down. That all this hype was built up, and that's what you got, 10 points against the Hokies. They forget that Virginia Tech's a pretty good club, tough place to go, and this program hasn't really – other than the Miami game last year, and I think part of that was Miami just didn't show up, they haven't learned to win on the road yet, which I go back to why this is really important. If they win Saturday night, they look pretty good doing it, and they're very good early, that'll be a good sign for UNC and that they can handle the road later on because they have to go to Pitt and NC State. Those will be tough games for this club. So if they can handle the road, then yeah, I think they'll be fine at home. I don't think anybody's going to beat them in Chapel Hill. So they're probably the best team in the Coastal, and they might be the best team by a significant margin in the Coastal, but they haven't shown it yet. So I'm not going to say they are until they show it. And I think Saturday is a really important step in them doing that. I think that they believe this is going to be a tough game because of the physicality. You guys will laugh at this, but I tape every ACC game, and I set the Clemson game for 3.5 hours, but there was the delay. So after the delay, when it came back, they were getting ready to run the play with like a minute left and a half or something like that, and my tape cut out because that was 3.5 hours. So I actually didn't get to see the rest of it. But what I saw up to that point, that looked like a different Georgia Tech team than one I watched against Northern Illinois. A totally different team. I think that there are times when you can build off a loss. 2 years ago, Mac's first year back at North Carolina, they lost to Clemson at home in a game in which they went for a 2-point conversion, basically with 20 seconds left. They didn't get it, but they lost by a point. And that was a game where they thought, okay, this is actually working, that we can actually get something out of this season. And I would think with Jeff Collins, with all the overhauling he's had to do, that the mindset leaving Death Valley was, you know what? This actually is starting to work because even though they physically beat Northern Illinois, they screwed up a bunch and lost that game. So you still lost. But the fact that they were able to be in position to win that game probably helped them a lot. They're going to be as confident running out of the tunnel, I would think, this Saturday as they've been at any time since Jeff Collins took that job.
I think
that makes them a more difficult opponent for anybody, certainly for this UNC team that hasn't shown it can play well on the road very often.
I think we looked at we did a Georgia Tech preview. Me and K Styles looked at the schedule and we were like, there may be 4 wins. That was like our prediction was like there may be 4 wins, but when you get beat by Northern Illinois, everybody starts laughing at you. Then next week you play Kennesaw State and blow them out, and then you play Clemson as close as you do. You're like, whoa, like that's a close game, and so, I mean, you got to win these. I mean, these are games you got to win. You got to put out a showing, and if you're Georgia Tech and you win this game, you put your name in a lot of different stuff. Like it's like, because North Carolina's gonna go in as a heavy favorite. If I go look at the line right now, If I go look at the money line right now, I'll go to SI. North Carolina, the spread is 12.5. So
it's a lot closer than they think.
It's a lot closer than
I thought it was going to be 15, 16, but
the spread's 12.5. That's close.
Yeah.
That's not, they're expecting a close game. So I think it's that's really close, really and truly. It's a plus. They're a big favorite, but I'm not surprised. The money line, it's weird. It's weird. They're minus 476 on the money line. So you're not gonna make a lot of money if you bet on North Carolina winning. But the over under is 64. So they're expecting you guys to have a high scoring game. At 64, you're scoring. You're both scoring at least 20, 30 points.
Right. They're expecting Tech to score, which is possible because Carolina's pass secondary was pitiful last week.
Yeah. So and this is what this comment here is just one where you guys were surprised that Pitt lost to Western Michigan at home last week. All that does is show you that that Georgia Tech and UNC can beat. Pittsburgh's not the team they were when they had James Conner. Let's put it like that. They're not that same squad. They really haven't been that same squad since he left. Really and truly, they haven't been the same type of Pitt team.
I thought they were going to be good this year. I thought they were going to be good. I thought they had a chance to be ranked. They got a really good
I'm surprised. No, I
was surprised by that.
Going to be good. Yeah, I thought a lot of teams. I thought a lot of SEC schools were going to make a jump. Arkansas made the jump, which I thought they were. Yeah. I knew Arkansas. I could have predicted Arkansas's jump. I didn't think Ole Miss was going to be as good as they did, but Matt Curl is, he's looking actually really good. I'm surprised he's not on top of the Heisman, votes. Yeah. But any others, the other schools that are dropping out of the ACC is making the ACC look bad, really and truly.
Well, that's what I was going to say about Georgia Tech. There's a lot of winnable games in front of them.
Yeah, it is.
Don't turn the ball over, and they haven't done that. Don't get sacked a lot, and they have done that. Protect Yates. Don't turn the ball over. Play well in special teams. You got a chance every week in the ACC. Just about. The league is really bad. I'm surprised it's as bad as it is. But what's crazy is Duke this weekend plays Kansas, and Duke has a chance to be the only ACC team to pick up 2 non-conference wins over Power 5 teams, but it was Northwestern and Duke. So, in Kansas. Kansas shouldn't even be considered Power 5. but isn't that crazy? They could actually pick up back-to-back wins over Power 5s as bad as the league's been. And I'm not sure Duke is any good either. So, ACC's struggling. So that's why Georgia Tech has an opportunity to get some wins because any given week, most of the teams in this league can lose.
Yeah. Looking at they're gonna give you betting tips and stuff. They're talking about Georgia Tech with the ball has allowed 8 sacks and then Tar Heels defense has 4. They're not Georgia, of course, but it's just
no, they're not getting sacks, and that's an issue. Something that's being talked about around UNC. That
I think
the defense has improved, but they're not dynamic statistically in any area. That you don't look at them and say, "Wow, they're really strong." I think they're pretty good at linebacker, and they should be really good at corner, but they struggled last week. They gave up 550 yards passing, and even Georgia State, their quarterback missed a bunch of wide open guys and slants and stuff, and they had some issues with the coverage there. So I don't know about Tech's passing game. Yates' uncle, by the way, was a really good player at North Carolina, TJ Yates. He doesn't look like he's the same passer his uncle was, but there could be some opportunities there for some quick hits and against the way that they've covered so far. I do think Mac Brown thinks they've got NFL corners. So if they play to their potential, then it'll be a challenge. That would be an area on the defense you can look at and say, well, that's a real strong point, but it hadn't shown out so far yet.
Yeah, it's going to be a game of first downs, I think. I think it's going to be a game of first downs, and I'll put it like this. I'll wait for my prediction, but I'll let you guys go first. Andrew, you can go first with your prediction. Just do the score and what you expect to see.
Yeah, we do it on our site. I don't remember what I predicted already. I forgot. It was so swamped with stuff. But I just think Carolina's ability to hit on the big play. It may be 50-50 at the line of scrimmage for the most part, but I think their ability to hit on the big play, score from anywhere on the field, which is what they can do, and what Sam Howell does. Josh Downs, I don't know, to me, he's one of the most electrifying players in the nation. That few people don't know about him yet, but they will in the next month or so. I think their ability to score from anywhere, hit on some big plays, will camouflage other stuff that maybe doesn't go so well. And because of that, I think they'll win by a couple touchdowns.
Yeah,
I'm thinking 34-20 in that range. 34-20, 37-20, something like that.
You cover the spread with that. K Styles, what you think?
Well, like I said, if you convert on your third downs, run the ball well. You keep Sam Howell, you keep him off the field long enough. I think Tech could beat UNC 24-21.
It's a close game, yeah.
That'd be a fun game. The building, whoever's in there, the building will be electric. If there's 35,000, there'll be 35,000 people into it. That's the case.
Exactly.
I hope so. I've never been there, so it'll be my first time in that building. And I like to go to new places I haven't covered a game before, so I'm excited about that. But I got to say, I'd much rather be at Bobby Dodd. I call Bobby Dodd the Wrigley Field of college football, and it's a special place because of the history and everything. So I would rather be there for the game. I think it'd be more fun. But the cool factor of being in the Dome, I think, will be kind of neat. But I think it'll take away from the game, though.
Yeah, it just depends on, how you see it. I think 28-27 Georgia Tech.
There you go.
Yeah, that's a really close game.
That's real close.
For me,
that'd be a fun game if that's what it is.
Exactly.
For me, I think this game, like I said, it'll be an inches game. Like whoever gets the 21st wins this game. That's how I see this game. I think it'll be really, really. I think you'll get to 21-17, and then we'll get really, really into. You might get like a 3-point game. I think I'm gonna take UNC, but it's gonna be really close. I think I'll flip K Styles. I think it'll be 21-24 UNC. I think that's how close it'll be. And I think it'll be like Georgia Tech is like. I think it'll be like 21. It'll be like how you thought about Virginia Tech in North Carolina, how they stole that game. I think that they'll actually steal this game, but they might not deserve the win. I think it'll be something like that. Like how Clemson stole the game last week. Let's be honest. Clemson didn't deserve to win that game versus Georgia Tech. They stole that win. They barely walked out of they had Bobby Dodd. Yeah, they barely walked out. No. They might have been. I don't remember.
Death Valley.
They barely walked out of Death Valley with a win. They were limping out of there. I mean, they've been limping. Let's be honest. They've been limping since the Georgia game. But
Clemson has 2 touchdowns against FBS teams this year. That's it.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild? That's crazy.
They didn't score, but I mean, Georgia didn't give them a touch. Georgia's only given up 1 touchdown, and that was in garbage time versus our backups were in. Our starters haven't given up a touchdown all year. It's scary. I've never seen a Georgia team look this good on defense. I have not. I think even we had Roquan Smith and all of those guys, and Aziz and all of those guys, their first couple of years, we were not even as good. Like, we look ridiculous. Like, I think the speed on this team is what's scary. Because I've gotten people texting me like, bro, this team looks fast. Like, and that's why I think that's what hurt Clemson. I don't think they were ready for that amount of speed. Like, we're all Southern schools and all of that, but man, I think that speed that Georgia has right now, like Jordan Davis is 6'6", 360, or almost close to like something crazy. And he's running like a 4.7 something, or like a 4.8.
I was going to say that's where they really impressed me up front defensively. They look really good up front, really good. And he's a monster. He was from North Carolina. I saw him in some stuff at North Carolina, and we covered him a lot because he was recruited by UNC for a while, and he's a monster, man. That kid's an unbelievable athlete, ball player.
Yeah, he was in Charles. I think he went to school in Charleston. It was something close to that. Yeah. It's Jordan Davis, Trayvon Walker. Oh my God, I can never remember his name. He plays linebacker, but he really plays Nolan Smith, and I can't think of our other. We shuffle so many guys in, but those 4 guys have literally. I mean, it's like a 3-4 headed monster. Like it's a scary situation when you get against that front 7, really and truly. I mean, we lost Aziz. And everybody, I think last year, everybody was like, well, I don't know how Georgia's going to replace. We lost half our secondary and half these other guys, and it doesn't look like we missed the beat. That's the crazy part. Like, it just doesn't look like, and then I'll applaud Kirby on that. Some things Kirby does, I'll be like, it's questionable, but I'll applaud him for that one. I mean, he's had his defense basically set for, a lot. But yeah, thank you guys for coming on tonight. Anything you guys want to promote? Andrew, you can go first.
No, just if you're interested in North Carolina, go check out TarHeelIllustrated.com. You can follow us on Twitter at Heel Illustrated, and we do a lot of stuff on YouTube. The channel is Tar Heel Illustrated, so we're very prolific. I work a lot, so that whole happy wife, happy life thing, my wife wishes I wouldn't work as much. That's not going to happen, though. I'm not going to stop. So I appreciate you guys having me on. I really enjoyed this, and I really enjoyed the banner that we had before we actually started doing the show. That was a good time. I appreciate that.
Man, that was good conversation.
And I really do like the hat. That looks good on you, man.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. Shoot, this is one of my favorite hats, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, K Styles, Mr. Almost at 500.
You gonna throw the number out like that, man?
You'll be Hey, I was in the stream when you hit 300. So man, I was there for. I always watch the show. So
yeah, we appreciate it. Hey, like I said, I appreciate you, Tyrone, letting me come on. Andrew, I appreciate the conversation too, man. Because like I said, it's always good to get people talking football. We in football season, man. But definitely, like I said, you can follow me at 6Man K Styles if you haven't already, and also Atlanta Falcon Nation, because that's the bread and butter of what we do. Like I said, I just appreciate everybody tuning in. I appreciate conversation with everybody. Hey, I like he said, happy wife, happy life. I'm just having fun doing this, man.
Yeah,
appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
You're upset. Hey, Markeith, if you guys can, like I said, Markeith, tomorrow, Friday night predictions. I'm gonna do some money line stuff. I'm gonna get into some betting and see what we thinking. So if you guys want to come in tomorrow, you're always welcome in the comments. Or you got, of course, AJ and K Styles. You guys want to come on tomorrow? Talk about some money. We're gonna see if these get people some money. I don't think I lost last week. I need to keep a tracker on it. I don't think I lost last week. So I think the worst pick I had might have been the spread. I might have been the spread, the Georgia Tech spread. I think I tried to pick that game, and I think I chose the spread on that game. And they bit me in the butt. I think Clemson is gonna mess a lot of people's money. Last week messed up a lot of people's money on Clemson because I thought you guys were gonna kill and you didn't. But that's good. I mean that's what you want out of your team. So thank you guys. Like I said, call on Tyrone Friday night, Saturday night. I will be on both nights. I'm the weekend guy, and then Sunday. Of course, Falcons versus Giants. We'll get to see these guys. We'll get the post game show on AFN and on here and on FILA. So check both of them out. Always come on. Check these two. We're always gonna be on. We always post the new stuff every day. Like I said, I'm on all. Not call on Tyrone. Chopping it up. Our baseball show. We will be on tomorrow at 7. So we'll get them talking about this Diamondback series, and then we play the Padres this weekend for the Braves. So get your previews in with Ben, Mr. Gator Dude. Get that stuff in with him talking about our Braves. I think that's it. You guys got anything else?
I'm good. I appreciate you having me on. I enjoyed it.
And with that, we're out of here. Peace.
Thanks, guys.